So my rooftop tent arrived in a large box and it was delivered right to my driveway. Weighs about 150 pounds, so I was able to maneuver it enough to get the straps cut loose and then lower it down out of the box. You can see underneath it has all the metal railings and channels for the hardware to attach it to the crossbars. Once I got out of the box, then I just maneuvered it to flip it back over so that I could remove all of the plastic wrap that it comes with. And that stuff is on there it's pretty sticky, so it's on there pretty good. So just an FYI, you're gonna spend a lot of time tearing that stuff off. But once I've got the perimeter taken off, I was able to then open it up, and then inside is the bag that has the telescopic ladder, and then all the hardware and tools to use for the installation is inside the bag. Once you got the bag open, you can pull out the ladder, all the hardware, and there's also an instruction, as you can see here, pamphlet, just to give you kind of some brief overview of what to expect when you're installing it. But pretty much, everything you need is inside there to install, and it's pretty straightforward. It has a very thin foam mattress that's inside of a zippered fabric. I ended up just taking that and replacing it with a 3-inch memory foam. This one just wasn't enough. It wasn't comfortable. It was like sleeping on the actual hard floor. Inside you'll see there's a hardwood composite floor, and then 4 metal arms that are held up with gas struts. And then the ceiling has a fabric type material that's used for storage. And then on both sides of the walls there's pockets made out of the fabric for storage as well. The arms themselves are covered in the fabric, and at first I was a little concerned. I thought I would be banging into them or something like that, but honestly I never really even touched them once I'm inside the tent. The outside fabric is a very strong water resistant fabric, and it's all the way around the perimeter on the bottom and then outside. I used the cargo lock crossbars that I just picked up on Amazon, but you can purchase them at any auto parts store. I think Walmart even carries them as well. I was working by myself, so I had to devise a way to slide the tent up on top of the roof. So I just used a piece of plywood against this and then used this as a ramp. I tied a rope around it on the other side and used it to winch, but I ended up seeing that it wasn't that difficult to just go ahead and push it. Toughest part was just getting over the actual crossbars, but the weight of it wasn't as bad as it looked. I used the air compressor on the side. I thought that it would slide, so I just used that to kind of block it, but you don't really need that. But once it was up, it was easy to maneuver around on the roof itself, and then just slide it into place, get it straight, and then you're able to then tighten it down with the hardware. Here I just took the hardware that came with 2 bolts and then used the bracket and then slid that into the metal channel from the back, and then basically to get it over the crossbar, just slightly picked it up and then slid it right down. It really doesn't weigh as much as it looks, even though it's 150 pounds. It's not as hard to maneuver. Once I had everything tightened down, I just went through and looked to make sure everything was tight and lined up correctly on the roof itself. But surprisingly, it's been very tough and held on very strong, considering that this is lightweight metal. I think even aluminum. So once it's installed and tightened down, just opened it up. Once you push it up, the gas struts pop right up and it opens. And then you can take your ladder and place it on top. Now, although I was able to install this by myself, I would definitely recommend using 2 people. It's not too heavy to lift by yourself, but obviously safer to do it with 2. But yeah, that's it. Once it was installed, everything was sturdy and it held rock solid. Took it down to the Outer Banks, and here's some footage of it driving. Hadn't had any problems with handling of the vehicle or it, coming loose or anything like that. It's been a great tent. I definitely would recommend it. There was actually 25-mile-an-hour winds and a rainstorm while we were here, and it held up great. So definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, leave below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.